There are so many people that's fighting demons right now that don't even belong to them, that they picked up from having a sexual exchange or exchange of energy with somebody else, and they wondering why they can't fight off this anxiety, fight off this depression, fight off this anger. It might not even be yours. And we're not looking at it like that because everybody be like, oh, it's just physical, it's just physical. No, it's not. Hey, friends. Welcome back to the Of Earth and Ether podcast with your host, Bria. It's been a while. I'm still figuring out the frequency thing. I've had so many people tell me, like, I watched this and this episode, but I haven't watched the last few. I'm like, dang, maybe I'm putting them out faster than y'all could watch them. So I'm still figuring out my frequency, but at the end of the day, we back. And today is a very, very important topic that I feel the way society is today downplays it, and it affects so much more of our beings than we actually realize. So we're gonna talk about it. I feel like, what was I saying in the beginning of these episodes? It doesn't matter. We here right now. So yes, today we're talking about sex, flocka, sex. But yes, energy exchange, bumping uglies, whatever you want to call it. We need to talk about this because we are doing so much to ourselves with and through this act of exchanging energy with other people and not truly understanding the depth of the effects that it's having on our being. So, as with everything, we got 3 layers of being, 3 layers of existence. You got your physical layer, your body, your physical processes, everything. You got your emotional layer, the emotions that you experience. And then you got your mental layer, which is your thoughts, your belief patterns, the subconscious programming that you have developed over the course of your life. If that's you haven't watched the first 3-4 episodes, make sure you go do that so you understand what we're talking about here. But considering that, I'm going to address what's actually happening at each layer so we could see that sex is way beyond just a physical act. And like I said, and I'm gonna break it down. It's affecting us. I need to stop touching my mic. Much deeper than it's not just physical. It is not just physical. There are so many people that's fighting demons right now that don't even belong to them, that they picked up from having a sexual exchange or exchange of energy with somebody else, and they wondering why they can't fight off this anxiety, fight off this depression, fight off this anger. It might not even be yours. And we're not looking at it like that because everybody be like, oh, it's just physical, it's just physical. No, it's not. So let's get into it. First of all, let's just define what an exchange is. So the definition of exchange is an exchange is the act of giving something and receiving something else of equivalent value in return. I'm going to read that one more time. An exchange is the act of giving something and receiving something else of equivalent value in return. So, sex is an exchange. So, each person involved is giving something, and they are in turn receiving something of equivalent value in return for what they gave. Now, this exchange is not just happening on a physical level like society paints it to be. You're exchanging physically, you're exchanging emotionally, and you're exchanging mentally and spiritually. So let's start with the physical. We're going to work backwards on this episode. So we're going physical, emotional, mental. So physical layer. In this layer, the exchange is between the body parts. So the male penis, you got your female vagina. It's like a key and a lock. Boom. You put them together. Y'all bodies are literally merged. Literally. That's one body at that point in time. So that's the physical exchange. He is giving something, she is receiving something physically. Another thing that happens physically is your heart rates, breathing patterns, and your brain waves physically align with each other. So y'all, you got your lingam and your vagina. Boom, they come together. Y'all just merged bodies. Y'all just merged bodies. At this point, it's one body. Y'all heart rates are now in alignment with each other. Your breathing patterns are now in alignment with each other. And your brain waves are now in alignment with each other. So this syncing is happening beyond just your reproductive organs. It's going to your heart, your brain, everything is getting involved to where y'all are basically vibrating at the exact same frequency. Y'all are on the same wavelength, literally and figuratively. Also, you're exchanging body fluids. So when you exchange your body fluids, your partner's like microbiome, their individual bacterial balance or whatever is getting introduced into yours and vice versa. So y'all bodies are getting introduced to each other at a biological cellular standpoint. Your immune system is starting to get used to this person, especially if it's somebody that you regularly exchange energy with. Your immune system is starting to get accustomed to this person. Your microbiome, your antibodies, everything from that person's body fluids is exchanging information with your body, and your body's doing the same thing. Y'all bodies are on a cellular level exchanging information. Here's what they got going on. Here's what this person got going on. Boom, let down your immune barrier so I can do da 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 da, so I can get through here. Let this down so I can do this, blah blah blah. Like, it's an exchange on a cellular level, on a biological level, outside of just the penetration aspect. And then you got the combination of the fluids exchanging plus skin to skin contact releasing hormones like oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone. But that ties into the next layer. So I'm going to stop right there when it comes to the physical. So physical layer, you're literally merging two bodies together. Lock and key. Your brain waves are now moving at the same frequency. Your heartbeats are now beating at the same frequency. Your breathing patterns are now moving at the same pace. Your microbiome, your antibodies, you're at a cellular level, you're now exchanging information with each other, communicating with each other, putting little droplets of your essence into this other person, and they're in turn taking a part of your essence into them. And this is just physically. Then you introduce the hormones. So oxytocin is a bonding hormone. This is what creates that feeling of emotional attachment to your person, right? Person you having sex with, person you exchange energy with. So you get to the emotional layer. Keep in mind, we done already discussed at the physical layer that your heartbeats are now beating at the same pace, aligning with each other. Now you got bonding hormones. So y'all bonding with each other hormonally. And at the emotional level, the exchange is different. So past few episodes, we've been talking about how everything manifests into existence through a pattern. First, it starts off mentally or spiritually. Those thoughts create feelings. The feelings emotionally create or drive you to act a certain way. And the action that the feeling creates literally creates your reality. We talked about an example of an architect, somebody having a thought, I want to be an architect. And then they start that thought of them being an architect and what their life would look like with them being an architect creates feelings of like, oh my gosh, I get to use my creativity to build things. And me having this position at this company is going to allow me to live my life the way I want to. I can get a house or apartment that I want. I can get the car that I want. I can travel how I want. I can get the clothes that I want. Those are creating feelings And those feelings of you being in a position that you want to be in is what inspires you. Let me go online and look up some architecture programs. Let me go find the best college or university that got an architecture program for the type that I'm trying to do. Everything starts off in the mind first. Everything starts off in the mind. Feelings follow thoughts. So then it becomes a feeling, and the feeling then moves your body, or if you don't process your feelings properly, the feeling gets stored in your body. So you dealing with people in a society where most people's we don't have, like, most of us were not taught emotional regulation skills. Um and a lot of us tend to emotionally regulate either through our foods or through unhealthy habits like substance abuse, drinking, smoking, partying. Some people be sexing their feelings away. And some people are aware of the fact that they do that. Some people are not. But at the end of the day, if you can have a feeling that you don't like, let's say you're feeling angry and you have sex with somebody and you're not angry anymore, did you not think about where did that emotion go? So at the emotional level, the exchange is emotion for emotion, especially when you're dealing with people who don't have a healthy outlet for emotional regulation and they should just be stored in their body. You're exchanging emotion for emotion. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said a lot of people be fighting demons and it don't even be theirs. It's not even yours. It might not be yours. It could be, but it might not even be yours, because at the emotional level, you're exchanging emotion for emotion. Your heart rates are literally in alignment with each other when you are having sex with somebody. You exchange your energy with your heart rates literally align with each other. That's the seat of emotion, is in the heart. So if y'all heart rates are literally at the same frequency, same pace, everything, y'all bodies are quite literally merged into one. And again, everybody got different feelings that they're experiencing that's stored in their body, whether it's unconscious, subconscious, or conscious. What do you think is happening in an exchange where we exchange is you giving something and receiving something of equivalent value in return for what you gave? So yes, the body keeps score. This is something that, like, it's books written about this. It's scientific studies. When you're speaking about the systems of medicine that are older than what is currently practiced in the Western world, our bodies keep score of everything that we've experienced. Our emotions, our experiences, thoughts, everything connected to the experiences we have, our body keeps score of that. You could be in a completely different setting and you smell something that reminds you of this traumatic place that you were when you was 5 years old. You could be 25. You smell that same smell. Your body smells that and starts reacting like you were in that situation when you was 5 years old. Your body keeps score. So you got all these feelings, all these emotions in your body, and you're literally merging your physical being with another person. Y'all are exchanging molecularly, cellularly, hormonally, and now we got the emotions being exchanged. So you taking somebody else's emotion, in exchange for that they taking a piece of your emotion or your emotions that's stored in your body. They getting some of that, they taking some, and they give you some of theirs, and you receiving what they giving you and also giving what they taking, whether you realize that or not. That's what's happening. You're exchanging energy. This is not just a physical thing. This is where some people, like I was saying, some people be aware of the fact that they be freaking their feelings into other people. Because some people be like, oh, I'm stressed out, I need to go fuck on something. Some people are aware of the fact that they do that. If you feel angry and then you have sex with somebody and you're not angry anymore, you just put your anger in that person. And you took something from them in return that it don't, as far as I know at this moment, it's not a filter as far as what you taking in exchange, but at the end of the day, the definition of exchange, it says it's equivalent value. So maybe it's anger for anger, maybe it's anger for sadness, Maybe it's just a matter of vibe. If you putting a negative energy into somebody, you're gonna take a negative energy back. If you putting a positive energy into somebody, you might take a positive energy back. But at the end of the day, whatever is being exchanged is equivalent in value, because that's what exchange means, is giving something in return for something of equivalent value. So that's the where people, especially if you are not responsibly like expending your energy, like you just hitting whatever come your way, and this is male or female. We talking everybody here. Ain't no discrimination. If you just hitting everything that come your way, a lot of people, whether they acknowledge it or not, tend to feel like they're not whole, like they're missing parts of themselves, or um again, you got all these demons, all these negative emotions, this negative energy that you can't figure out how to get rid of. Or you just started experiencing it when you started having sex with a certain person, because that was their feelings that they exchanged with you. They gave you those feelings and they might not even be yours. So the feelings of being unwhole, the feelings of feeling like something's missing, or you got too much stuff and you don't know where it came from, you don't know what to do with it, everything you tried don't work. That was the exchange. That's where the exchange took place. And this is something that I really wanted to address, because this is something that I personally experienced. And just recognizing how much of an impact it played on my overall being was absolutely life changing to me. Like, I'm talking, I was just like down bad, just anxious all the time. Like, my constant state of being was just anxious. Just anxiety is just like the most overcoming word. It was just anxious. Like, I was always down about something, always in these moods. And it was like, this was not a regular thing for me before I started exchanging energy with this person. That was not a thing for me. Those were not things that I normally experience. I'll be getting in moods and being rude to my friends. And it's just like, I ain't never did no shit like that before. Again, I was always worried, always anxious. And it was like, it was getting worse. Like, I never will forget the moment I realized like that man was putting his emotions inside of me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was just life changing. And again, when you breaking this down to, you know, your overall state of being, your state of peace or lack of peace, your state of your emotional, I mean, not your emotional, your reproductive health, like every our body keeps score. We're storing emotions, and our womb specifically store emotions, not only yours, not only your ancestors, but that of the people that you have sex with, the people that you exchange energy with. You're storing their emotions too, their experiences too. So some of the stuff, if you have connected, or even if you haven't, but if you have connected some of your physical experiences with your reproductive health, like cramping, PMS, flow issues, irregularity, whatever it may be, if you've been able to connect on your own some of that stuff to your emotional experiences, it's like, how much of that was actually yours? So if our thoughts create feelings, and feelings create a physical state of being, if you're now taking emotions from somebody else, that's going to influence your physical state of being, because feelings influence your state of being physically. And what I'm learning right now in this new book I'm reading is, it's like an endless loop between your thoughts and your feelings, because your mind could create a thought, and then that thought creates a feeling, and then that feeling in turn influences your brain, not your mind, your brain, to keep thinking about things that will continue to induce that feeling. So if you're introducing somebody else's feelings into your body by exchanging energy with them, and it's a negative feeling, now that feeling is going to trigger your brain to start releasing chemicals that could keep you thinking about whatever it was that created that feeling, to maintain that feeling. It's like an endless loop of just like thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling. And again, at that point, your thoughts, your feelings, and your body are all on the same like wavelength. So your whatever is happening mentally and emotionally is going to show up physically. So again, some of the stuff that you're dealing with might not even be yours. It might not even be yours. It might be somebody that you're exchanging energy with, or somebody that is exchanging energy with the person that you're exchanging energy with. But we're gonna get into that later, because again, society teaches is like normalizing a lot of it. And I'm not trying to sex shame. I promise I'm not trying to sex shame. But at the end of the day, we be participating in a activity that quite literally can summon a spirit from the spirit realm to the physical world. And we walking around talking about it as casual. You realize how stupid that sounds? Like, you're literally participating in an act that could bring a spirit from the spirit realm to the real world, to the physical realm. And we talking about it's casual. It's just this, it's just that. It goes way deeper than that, whether you want to acknowledge that or not. So we really got to be mindful. If you're going to do it, at least know what you're doing for real. If you're going to do it, be mindful about what you're doing for real, and be ready to fully accept everything that comes with it, because whether you acknowledge it or not, the exchange is happening beyond a physical level, period. So, emotionally, you exchange emotion for emotion, period. Now, let's move up to the mental. So, I started with physical for a reason in this episode. Keep in mind, so when you physically merge in your body, you physically exchange your energy, you physically have now inserted the lock into the key, or the key into the lock. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Your breathing patterns align with each other. Your heart rates align with each other. The heart is the seat of emotion. And not only did I say that, what else did I say? And you can go Google these things. This is not coming out my neck. Your brain waves align with each other. Brain waves are aligned with each other. What is that? Your thoughts. Your thoughts are now in alignment with each other. All thoughts are literally just frequencies, wavelengths that we pick up on. If we align with a certain wavelength, that's the type of thoughts that we're going to allow ourselves to experience. If you thinking about high vibe stuff, that means that your mind or your brain waves are vibrating at that high frequency. So the things that are below, and I don't even want to make it super, because everything is spiritual, but I don't want to make it sound woo woo, because it's not. But like, just think about it from a physical perspective, physics perspective. We talking wavelengths at this point. Like, this don't got to be some magical woo woo magician type shit. Like, this is just physics. Like, if your mind and your thoughts are at a high frequency, you thinking about high, that means the wavelengths are very fast, versus something that's low, the wavelengths are moving very slow. So if your mind is moving at a high frequency, your wavelengths are like moving fast like this, you're not even going to be on the same, you're not going to pick up on nothing that's moving at a super slow wavelength, because that's not the frequency that you vibrating at. You know what I'm saying? Mentally. So if y'all thoughts, your brain waves are now in alignment with each other, y'all are going to be picking up on the exact same frequency of thoughts. And if y'all frequencies are in alignment with each other, does that not mean that y'all are going to be able to pick up on each other's thoughts? And this is not like, okay, in that moment I'm thinking like, damn, she look like da da da, damn, I look like da da da. And you might be able to pick up on that, but like, I'm thinking, what are you habitually thinking about? Like, what's programmed to your brain? Because at this point, at the foundational level, y'all are moving at the same wavelength. So whatever is present in your brain is synced up with this other person's brain. Now it's allowing for an exchange to happen, because y'all are moving at the same frequency. Y'all are vibrating on the same pace. So whatever is present can start exchanging. And again, it could be not quick, as in like, oh, there's a squirrel, but like something that you regularly think about, that can be exchanged between y'all. There is going to be exchange. And again, I'm part of this shit. And one of the reasons why I wanted to make this episode is because, like I said, I experienced this firsthand. So this is, and again, this is not no woo woo, like just physics. This is physics, but everything is spiritual. Physics is how humans make sense of the spiritual world. So whether you want to look at it from a spiritual perspective or a physical perspective, at the end of the day, the same shit is happening. I experienced this firsthand. Thoughts that don't belong to you probably came from the person that you're exchanging energy with. And again, like I've been saying in every episode, everything starts off in your mind. So if you're picking up on thoughts from somebody else, you have absorbed, exchanged thoughts with somebody else. Those thoughts are now creating how you feel. And then how you feel manifests into your body and your physical reality. So if you exchange your thoughts with somebody that's always beating themselves up mentally, always very cynical, got a very negative outlook on everything, nothing's going to work out for them, everything bad always happens to them, you exchange your energy with that person mentally. Y'all, your brain waves are now aligning with the wavelengths of somebody who thinks like that. You're going to start thinking the same way, especially if it's a consistent exchange. Especially if it's a consistent exchange, you're going to start thinking the same way. If they keep thinking like that and you aligning with their brain waves, you're going to start thinking the exact same way. And vice versa, if it's something positive. But one thing I will say is if y'all are on different, like say you're a very positive, optimistic type person, like you have a very positive outlook on the world and you're exchanging energy with somebody who is constantly negative, cynical, everything is bad and blah blah blah, like everything is always going to move towards a state of balance. So that means that they might come up some and develop more positive thoughts, but that means that you are going to come down some and be more subject to negative thoughts. So very important to be mindful of what you're actually doing, because the exchange is not just physical. And this is the most important step, because everything starts in your mind. Everything that manifests in your physical reality starts in your mind. Your brain waves are in alignment with the person that you're having sex with. Y'all thoughts are literally going to start swapping with each other, thought for thought, band for band. Like think about you. It's some cars driving on the E-way, and one is driving really fast and one is driving medium speed. That's the frequencies, right? If one of them slow down or the other one catch up, now they driving side by side. You're now able to yell out your window, "Hey, yo, you trying to race?" Not don't race, guys. Don't do that. But I'm just saying, like, you can now interact with that person. Y'all are now exchanging energy. Hey, yo, what song you listening to? That song hit. What song is that? If y'all was at two different frequencies, you wouldn't be able to do that. But y'all now moving at the same frequency. Now you're able to exchange. That's what's happening mentally. That's creating your thoughts. That's influencing your thoughts, which creates your feelings, which creates your reality. So exchange is happening at every layer of your existence when you are having sex with somebody physically. Your actual, lock and key, physical, plugging in, merging bodies. Your heart rates align with each other. Your brain waves align with each other. Your breathing patterns align with each other. Your hormones are now being triggered by each other. Your microbiomes, your antibodies, your immune systems are now responding to each other on a physical level. Emotionally, emotion for emotion, whatever is in there, your heart rates are in alignment. Whatever is in there, whatever is in your body, you're exchanging it. Equivalent value, exchanging it. Emotion for emotion, feeling for feeling, exchanging it. Mentally, your brain waves are in alignment. Thought for thought, y'all are exchanging it. Pattern for pattern, mental habit for mental habit, you're exchanging it, especially if it's a recurring exchange. It's somebody that you regularly exchange your energy with. Very, very, very important to be mindful of who you are allowing to get access to your essence. That is literally allowing access to your entire essence as a being when you do that. Like when you have sex with somebody, you're literally giving them a piece of your soul, giving them a piece of your essence. And that's not some shit. I'm not going to say that you can't get it back, but like, you giving pieces of yourself out. Like, do you really want to give that much of yourself to that person? And with all of that, I wanted to discuss, and this is what I was talking about when it came to with people, it might not be your partner's energy. They could have picked up on something from somebody else that they sleeping with, and then they came back, it's in them now, you picked up on that. It's very important that you maintain your personhood when you are sexually active, especially if you're somebody that has multiple partners. Like, whether it's multiple or just one other person, it's so important that you maintain your personhood so that you are able to distinguish What's yours, what's not, and know when it's time for you to take a break. Because again, if you allowing somebody else to have that much access to your energy, they literally are influencing your life because y'all are exchanging energy mentally. Mental thoughts create feelings. Y'all are exchanging feelings emotionally. Feelings create actions. The actions manifest into what actually shows up in your reality and in your body. So health issues, or just state of being overall, your mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health, all of that is influenced by the person that you are exchanging energy with. Your motivation levels, your peace, state of mind. Like, are you anxious? Are you depressed? Are you happy? Are you optimistic? All of that is playing into who you're exchanging energy with. And again, you need to be able to tell the difference between, like, yo, this is not mine. This is not mine. And also getting to know that person before the exchange takes place. So the most important part of this is getting to know your own energy. So get to know your own thoughts. Listen to your own stream of thoughts. Are you a cynical person? Are you a negative Nancy? Are you the type of person that only sees that the cup is half empty as opposed to being half full? Do you feel like everything is always happening to you and everybody out to get you? Just being able to be aware of your own energy. How do you feel on a daily basis? So that's the thinking. How do you feel on a daily basis? Do you constantly feel anxious? Do you constantly feel scared? Do you constantly feel angry? Do you constantly feel happy? Like, what is your overall state of feeling when it comes to your being? How do you regularly feel when you're not intentionally trying to influence the way that you feel? That's what's there, and that's what's going to be your baseline to where you can tell what's being changed when you exchange energy with somebody else. And then physically, like, how do you smell? Like, that's one thing society has made people shame. I feel like if you don't regularly check how you smell, you're crazy, male or female. That's gonna be the first sign that something is off. If your smell changes and it smells crazy. How do you regularly smell? Ladies, how do your vagina smell during different phases of your cycle? Because it changes. If you're not aware, it changes. How do you smell? So you will know, okay, I normally smell like this when I'm ovulating, and I just started to have sex with so and so. Now I smell like this. You already know, okay, that's him. Like, my body might not be vibing with him, or if everything cool, it's like, okay, I smell different, but it's not, nothing negative. Like, okay, my immune system is starting to get accustomed to him. Like, or if y'all locked in for a minute and your body is used to him, your immune system has already let her guards down. She knows, okay, based on his microbiome, this is my man. He come in and now some shit go left. Now you got an infection. Now you got you know what I'm saying? You already know, he been dipping. Like, knowing your body, knowing your own energy, it's like a cheat code to life for real. Like, it's when you that tapped in with your body, it's not really that many things that could get past you. And I'm not even just talking about somebody cheated, somebody this, somebody that. It's just a matter of just knowing your place, where you belong, where you're supposed to be at. Your body gonna tell you all of that. So knowing your own body, knowing your own emotions, knowing your own mind, so that when you do exchange energy with somebody else, you're able to tell, okay, I just did this with so and so. Now I'm feeling like this. That's not how I normally feel. And then if it's a regular, like, you do it again, you notice the same feeling comes back. That's how the energy feels. If it doesn't feel peaceful to you, it's probably not somebody you should be exchanging energy with. If it makes you feel anxious, leave them alone. If it makes you feel mad, leave them alone. Like, if it just doesn't vibe with you, it doesn't give you a sense of peace, it makes your nervous system feel like you need to move into fight or flight, like you're in survival mode, you need to move around. Like, that's not for you. And then also what comes with this is taking the time to actually clear other people's energy from your space. It is very important that you abstain from having sex. Like, don't nobody on this earth need to be cracking it open, busting it wide 24/7. Don't nobody need to do that. There's no biological purpose for anybody to be doing that 24/7. Like, it's very important to abstain, especially if you, honestly, I ain't even gonna say especially if, because even if you're in a long-term relationship, y'all can't go 14 days, 30 days. Like, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if they got some shit they got going on and it's influencing you in a negative way, you might, and I'm not saying y'all gotta break up, but like, just like, yo, let's just go 14 days so I can re-regulate my own energy, because yours is feeling a bit overwhelming to me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't take the time to just be by yourself, you're never going to know yourself. You're never going to know your own energy. And that is going to, again, just influence everything. Because if you don't know your own energy, you're not going to be able to distinguish when you got all these feelings. This not even mine. This is Tyrone's that I was bumping uglies with on Monday. This Tyrone energy. Cause I don't even, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to know that if you don't know your energy. You're just gonna be feeling all this shit and you're just gonna be thinking, I don't know what to do. That's how people be ending up depressed and all this other shit. Like, might not even be yours. It might not even be yours because y'all are exchanging on so many different layers beyond just a body and a body. Like, that's the lowest level of the exchange, if we're being honest. So, clearing energy from your space comes with abstinence, number one. And then, ladies, I can't speak for what I've never heard of a man doing yoni steam because it's like, where are you steaming? But at the end of the day, it's just like a sauna. So I guess I don't know how that works for a man. So I'm speaking to the ladies right now. Basically, is what I'm saying. Yoni steaming, yoni steaming, yoni steaming, yoni steaming, yoni steaming will help you clear energy from your womb space that doesn't belong to you, or just the experiences of the people that you have exchanged energy with or your own, um, because it's getting everything moving. It is physically purging you. It's like a sauna. And then also when you're working with certain herbs have the ability to work on different aspects of your being. Certain herbs are more have more of an affinity for your mental, spiritual being, like sage, for example. There are certain herbs that have more of an affinity for your emotional body. Certain herbs that have more of an affinity for your physical body. It's like whatever you like experiencing at that point in time, you could steam. You could steam, and it will help clear. Sorry, Mike. It will help to clear that energy from your space. If you're going through a breakup, steam. If you divorced, steam. You just had a baby, steam. You recovering from sexual assault or trauma, steam. Even if you ain't got nothing wrong, steam. Like, it just keeps everything flowing and in movement, so it's not getting stuck and stagnated in your body. Yoni steaming, as I've said in multiple different places, has changed my life for the better. And one of those ways was emotionally, because that was actually how I figured out the whole connection between the mind, emotions, and the body, because I was having like bad luteal phases emotionally, and that's how I was able to like connect. My emotions is mirroring what's happening in my body, or my body is mirroring what's happening emotionally, and my emotions are mirroring what I'm doing mentally. So me steaming helped me to like essentially clear certain experiences from my womb space to the point where they no longer bothered me. And like, I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want to shame anybody. I'm not trying to be shameful, I promise. But like, it wasn't that much for me to clear. So if I was going through what I was going through and didn't even have that many sexual experiences, it's like with people that are more active and you've never taken the time to clear your energy, I can only imagine what you feel like on a daily, especially if you was dealing with men that were not self-aware, which most of them are not. Um, and a lot of them just they be stressed out and they just call somebody else so they fuck their feelings out. Like, that's how a lot of men be emotionally regulating themselves, is by putting their emotions in another woman. Like, and if you just on the receiving end of all that stress, all that anger, all of that frustration, all that hurt, all that pain, like, you didn't clear none of that out, it's going to affect you and your state of being, your womb health, your physical health, your mental health. Like, all of that is being affected. So steam, 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 steam. There's so many different herbs you could work with steams, or just do plain distilled water steam. Depending on your needs, that's going to depend on the herbs that you pick. But I do have a universal yoni steam blend on my website, suitable for most wombs. Very nurturing, very, very nurturing. It feels like a hug. I fell in love when I first steamed with that blend. But steam and abstain, get to know your own energy. and get to know the energy of the person that you're sleeping with. Mike, sorry. Before you sleep with them. So our vetting processes need to be longer on both ends. Our vetting processes need to be longer. You need to really know what you're getting yourself into, because again, you can't decide, oh, I don't wanna take on their emotions. That's not some shit that you get to decide. Like, if you exchange your bodies, if y'all bodies is merging to that extent, everything else that come with that is gonna happen. You can't filter out, I only want to take this part, I only want to take this part. That's not how that works. So if you're not willing to take everything that comes with it, leave it alone. You don't want to take everything that come with it, leave it alone. If you're not gonna acknowledge, okay, I know this nigga be stressed out, but I still want to da da da, and you start feeling stressed out, just acknowledge the fact that you had a role in that. So we need to make our vetting processes longer. Pay attention to how our bodies react to these people, because your body will tell you when they're not vibing with somebody. Um, and again, I'm talking to ladies because I am a woman. I can, you know, relate or see how it relates. I can't speak for a man, but I feel like certain stuff is like it's gonna be the same, just in your man way. Your body not vibing with somebody, pH thrown off, infections, smells. Um, choose my words carefully. Certain diseases and infections can show up as a result of your body being like, no, I don't like him. I don't like him. Your body will let you know. When it comes to feelings, anxiety, restlessness, anger, sadness, frustration, are these things that your partner normally exhibits? Or, like, actually ask questions that help you know. Ask one question I be asking when I be texting people and I'm first getting to know them is, oh, how do you handle stress? What you do when you stressed out? If they don't say anything along the lines of nothing, or they shove it down, or it's a cover up, like a substance abuse, uh run, because that means they got a lot of shit built up, and if you exchange, you're gonna take part in all of that shit, and that shit's gonna become your shit. So, but again, it's up to you and what you want to deal with. But I'm just, if you enjoy being at peace and having harmony within your mind and your body and your emotions, then vet and take your time vetting. Yeah, keep a track of what feelings did you have. Again, get to know your own energy first, and then if you do exchange, what came up, what feelings started coming up when you start exchanging energy with them. Is that something that you've experienced before? If it's not, it's probably not yours. It's probably theirs. And if it's not something you're willing to deal with, that's something that you need to discuss with them, with themselves. Like, hey, do you be feeling sad? Because I started noticing that after we started doing blah blah blah, I started feeling sad, and I didn't know why. It came out of nowhere. Then you might be able to, okay, hey, this is what I do when I'm sad. You might be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to be talking more about what's happening in our exchanges as opposed to just the physical aspect, because that's the last step. That's the last step. Um, and the same thing with the thoughts, like your thought patterns. Do you normally think like this? Like, is this something that just started popping up once you started having sex with this one person? Like, you know, um, just being able to determine what's yours and what's not, and protect your energy. Like, it's just, yeah. So I know, I don't know, I don't even care how the people that's supposed to receive this gonna receive this. Um, I will say I'm not trying to sex shame anybody. I'm not trying to police nobody. Obviously you can do whatever the hell you want to do with your life, but again, this is mainly a be mindful of what you're actually doing before you do it. And acknowledge your own role in your current state of being, because again, there's so many people stressed, anxious, sad, depressed, and don't know why. And it's like those might not even be your feelings, and they haven't connected two and two. Like, this is coming from dude I be freaking on because he always mad. But yes, get to know your own energy. Get to know the energy of your person before y'all exchange. Even when you first start, pay attention to what comes up, so you really, like, is this something that I'm okay? Is this something I'll be able to handle? When y'all talking about y'all sexual experiences, also talk about the emotional and the mental aspects of it. Um, and make sure that you abstaining and clearing your energy regularly. Again, I got steam on my website. If you're not a person that feels comfortable or confident and knowing which herbs to select for your needs. I have a theme on my website. And protect your energy, man. That's it. That's my message. I do want to say this. If you're a man and you do practice abstinence, I would like to know what or like how the exchange experience goes for y'all. Because as a woman, it's like I've noticed what I've received from the person that I was exchanging energy with, but I can't tell what I gave. So if you're a man and you are like aware of yourself to that extent to where you'll be able to tell that, and you know you've abstained, you take your time to do your shit and you discipline and you know like I know this is me, so if I do this with this girl, that I know that that was her because this is how I normally feel versus how I felt when I did this. Like I just want to know what the exchange aspect actually feels like on a physical, emotional, mental level from a man's perspective. So if somebody could like, you know, share their experience in the comments if y'all feel comfortable doing that, I would love to read it. But yeah, yeah, y'all be easy. We'll be back.